to come and see and learn who we are, where we come from, and how difficult it was to come to the free land of America.
Ambition and courage to leave Iraq and travel across the world to come to America.
My dad worked a long time. He worked for 20 years, no day off but Christmas. And all he talked about was work, work, work.
You know, the Chaldeans are known to be family, work, church.
A little more than 1 year ago, the Library of Congress announced a unique opportunity to contribute collections to their American Folklife Center. In 2024, the Chaldean Community Foundation was one of only 10 organizations nationwide to be selected for this honor. The project's goal was to capture the rich cultural traditions of Chaldean Americans and preserve them in a national archive for generations to come. The resulting project is titled Chaldeans, Portrait of a Community. To begin with, the focus was on culture. We began by heading to Grand Rapids, Michigan for the first ever International Chaldean Convention.
So I've been a Chaldean priest for about 12 years, and in that time I've had the pleasure to serve mostly the greater Detroit area, but also in different parts of the world, like in Australia, New Zealand, and Chicago, and visited many other churches as well. After having served in so many different places, came to me in prayer that all these different Chaldean communities were kind of functioning independently of each other, and our church has never looked like this before, where we're so far from each other geographically. And so I decided to take it to the bishop and say maybe we can have an event in the initiative, and we called it the International Chaldean Convention, to bring everyone together and kind of define a role of where we're going as a people and as a church.
Being in the Detroit area, it feels like home, but just to know that there are more Chaldeans out there and that we could all get together. And also, you know, our traditions, our faith, our culture, and this was very faith-based.
I heard about it through church, through the priest announcing it at Mass, and it sounded great. So yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of people I know from all over, so this is great.
I'm here with Brother Augustine from San Diego. Hello, brother. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm doing good.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
So I was born in Baghdad, grew up in Syria for a little bit, and then I moved here in 2008. Got acclaimed to the culture and the language, and then eventually I studied biology, graduated from San Diego State, and then I entered the monastery in 2018.
It filled my heart with so much joy to see Chaldeans that I've never met from Australia. It's like meeting cousins that I knew I had but never met. And it's such a good feeling.
My name is Mark. I'm from Sydney, Australia, from St. Thomas Chaldean Catholic Church in Bosley Park.
And then why did you guys decide to come?
Well, we came to see our own people, see how big the community is in the States. And we actually shops. It's amazing out here.
We've heard a lot about the Chaldean Americans.
So can you tell me about the Chaldean Australian community?
The Chaldean Australian community. How much time do you have? What do you think?
Honestly, I reckon we're strong. We're stronger than ever. Like, we're getting bigger by the week. Our youths are getting bigger, our community is getting bigger.
Praise to God, it's really flourished in the last couple of years.
Definitely.
We actually had Father Matthew spend a year in Australia and really help us kickstart our youth ministries. And since then, the fruits have really started to bear.
We also paid a visit to the Arab and Chaldean Festival in Detroit, a tradition that has been celebrated for more than 50 years.
So I've been coming to this festival since I was a kid. I remember it very, very well. Well, some of my best memories growing up. We do everything ethnic. So we do the potato chop, kubahaleb, borek, hamed kubi, big kubba, everything your mom used to make in the kitchen. Sakhrata khusra, sakhrata gupta, kulla majinat. Been in business for 15 plus years. So we've been part of the community. The community's been supporting us forever. and we can hope to continue. I mean, the singing and the dancing, and at night when everybody just gets together and the families, so many families, all the kids running around. Our history, our blood comes from Jesus, you know, we're all in the same area. It's Cap and El Kosh and everything. God walked these lands, you know, so we go way back.
Chaldeans have long excelled in entrepreneurship, filling vital niches within their local communities and beyond. The Chaldean news team focused on capturing the stories of family-owned businesses, women entrepreneurs, and the rise of Chaldean-run franchises.
Being Chaldean I think we grow up in families that are very entrepreneurial. You know, when we would have Sunday dinners, even when we were young, and when we had it with our children and my in-laws, and like my father-in-law is Eddie Jonah, and we would have Sunday dinners, and we would always talk about business, opportunities, and our families. Growing up Chaldean, you have that entrepreneurial spirit, and you have that spirit to be in business for yourself.
I went to New York when I first bought Market Square. And I toured Manhattan for a while, and I went into just about every store in Manhattan, and I saw the way they were merchandising, the way they were just what kind of food they were selling and things like that. And I came back with the idea that that's what I want to do. I want to cram as much inventory as I can in a small building. You know, have a wide variety of everything, and I think that's going to work, and it did.
You were working crazy hours back then. I mean, I want to say, you were working open to close, and we would wait for Dad. It was like 10 o'clock, and I would stay up and we'd wait in the front bathroom window for you to come home. Yeah. And we'd see him for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and then go to bed. And, it was just, kind of what it was back then.
My dad worked a long time. He worked for 20 years, no day off but Christmas. And all he talked about was just work, work, work. Actually, we worked too much, but yes. By working really hard, we became really good because we're there every day. My dad worked till he was 84.
Sahara was founded in 1981 by Sada Tisha, my husband. And he started off in Ferndale and subsequently opened a location in Oak Park. And we've been in Oak Park since 1984. We love to bring what Mom made and Grandma made at home, put it on the menu, and wow our customers.
When I was working and starting at Market Square in high school, I was working behind the deli. That's where I learned how to hold a knife, how to learn how to, cut food, talk about food. And that really has been a focus of mine.
My brothers and I, we had an interest in the gyms working out at a young age. We're probably all trying to, catch up to my dad, who was a bodybuilder. Right. We did martial arts when we were kids like he did. We started lifting weights. We started at the bottom. We were clean up boys and janitorial type stuff. And then we started learning the front desk and reception and check-in type situation. Eventually learned sales and the back end. So we kind of learned our way up from the bottom to management positions. We enjoyed the business, and we kind of just grew up in it, and we've stayed in it ever since.
I was blessed with a great family, great sons. They take care of everything. I could retire 20, maybe 25 years ago if I wanted to, and they could have handled it. I signed everything over to them about 24 years ago, and I remember my lawyers thought I was crazy. They said, "You're signing every asset you own to your kids. They can tell you to screw off." As well, if that happened, I'd rather not be here anyways. So that was not any of my concern. And they took over the business and run it, etc.
Anything you do, you want to own a building, you have to know the construction of the building, how to pull the weeds out of the grass. You have to be ready to do everything. I don't believe the owner is above any of that. The owner has to be able to get down and dirty and then lead by example.
As an architect, I always put myself in the perspective of our clients and what do our clients really want and what do they really need. And many times, I think of what we design in terms of our clients to make them successful. One of the first projects we did was for a very good friend and a person who's been a longtime client of ours is Johnny Carmo. We've done a lot of projects for Johnny, not only his homes, but the market squares and the market fresh. And we continue to do work with Johnny. His sons are now in the business. Just like my son is in the business, and now our sons will do hopefully business together for many years.
Well, I'm very lucky to have had an amazing mentor, my father as an architect and father and partner in the business. And so looking towards the future, our goal is to continue doing what we do and create these special projects and great relationships. And it's exciting. We love what we do.
Right now we have over 240 employees. I got 3 managers in every store. And my 2 sons also, are the chief driving force.
Well, when the Chaldeans came over to the U.S., most of them were in the retail business. All of them. They went into stores, and all the parents worked really hard, made good money, and then the kids went to high school, colleges, and now they're in doctors, CPAs, builders. We've changed the whole thing. We're not just in retail anymore.
As the entrepreneurial spirit is passed down to the next generation, so are the traditions that have defined the Chaldean identity. Chaldeans are more than just business people. They're also deeply social. Detroit's first Chaldean neighborhood, Chaldean Town, was a tight-knit community where many early memories were formed.
This was a very live community here then, and there was not hundreds but thousands of people. Even they used to call the area here New Tel Keif, Tel Keif Khasse.
This communal spirit led to the establishment of numerous social clubs, from the storied Southfield Manor, where countless community memories were made over the preceding decades, to the Victor Soroki-designed Shenandoah Country Club, the community's crown jewel where generations of members meet.
Here's what I remember from the meetings at Southfield Manor back in the 80s, when Mike George stood trying to sell the membership to purchase Shenandoah Country Club in West Bloomfield Township, which, by the way, West Bloomfield Township in the 80s did not have as many Chaldean families that live in West Bloomfield Township today. And he kept trying to explaining to them that it's a good thing to do for our community. Many of the members who were, like you said, older in their 50s, 60s, sitting there listening to Mike George, God bless his soul, said, "We don't even golf. Why do we need to buy a golf course or a club with a golf course?" And Mike George said, "You're not buying it for yourself. You're buying it for our children and grandchildren." And look at it now. Yeah. Look at us now.
Preserving cultural heritage is essential for Chaldean Americans. From Chaldean Town to Shenandoah, pioneers like Mike George helped establish a strong foundation, and through efforts like those at the Chaldean Cultural Center, traditions, stories, and artifacts are being collected to be preserved and shared with future generations.
The idea of building this cultural center, or the museum itself, came about in the early 2000s when we acquired the Shenandoah Country Club as a golf course, and also there was about 18 acres that were not used for the golf course itself. We thought that those 18 acres are a good location to have a Chaldean center here.
So we wanted to honor those original pioneers who established what eventually became a very successful community here in Southeast Michigan. Another audience that we wanted to focus on was our children and grandchildren. we want them to know their culture, their faith, their history, their language, not only to know it, but to embrace it and be proud of it and make it a part of their lives that they would then pass on to their children and grandchildren. The third target audience was the American public in general. We wanted to tell them who the Chaldeans are, that we are from Iraq, we are Arabic speaking and Aramaic speaking, which is really our language, and it was a language that Christ spoke.
Well, lots had happened to our people since we finished this museum, like with the Daesh taking over our hometown and taking over our church, and there was about 1.5 million Iraqi Christians. Today we are down probably a couple of 100,000. A lot of things have happened since then, and I would like to see in the museum a chapter of our people that are refugees in many, many countries, telling their story, how were they treated with the terrorist groups and why they left their hometowns.
So my job, I felt, is that to take the story of the museum and the stories within the museum, which are the 5 galleries, starting from ancient Mesopotamia to Chaldeans today, and serve it to the whole world.
The Chaldean community in Metro Detroit has grown to nearly 200,000, expanding into diverse industries and furthering its impact. Organizations like the Chaldean Community Foundation and the Chaldean American Chamber of Commerce unite and empower their community, helping amplify their voices and build a legacy for the future.
Standing in front of the newest Chaldean Community Center here in West Bloomfield. We're about 9 months into construction. I'm standing in what will be our new lobby here at the Chaldean Community Center. And then directly behind me, we'll be entering the eastern portion of the building, which is the largest of the 50,000 square feet. If you go directly down this hall, you'll see a much bigger and expanded Chaldean Cultural Center, moving from Shenandoah Country Club to this facility here on Inkster and Walnut Lake Road. We're now furthest east in this facility, and they're going to share many of the other activities that we'll be offering, including this business incubator space. So you know, a lot of what we're doing here on this western building is to help preserve the Chaldean language and the culture, and in doing so we have classrooms and other activities planned, including this protocol room. You might ask, what is a protocol room? It's unique because we do get a lot of visitors now from the Middle East and other parts of the world. We've duplicated what they've been offering in their country, and when dignitaries come here, they'll be able to come into this facility, sit in this room, as if they're in their own homeland.
The Chaldean community is a testament to resilience, innovation, and the power of preserving one's heritage. This story continues to be passed down, ensuring that future generations remain rooted in the values and traditions that have shaped their identity.